to in just a sec. So with that said, I'd love to jump into the agenda. And I am jumping a little too quickly. Um, Quick agenda, we have introductions. We're going to meet our community expert. And I'll speak to what a community expert is within the ServiceNow ecosystem. We'll get started with Now Learning and the Ask Me Anything with our team, which is the Q&A at the end. To start, I will introduce myself. I am Selena Zamora. I am actually with the community team, and what that actually means is when you think about what ServiceNow is, it's a pretty significant organization with a lot of opportunities. But what we wanted to focus on today is really just what and how and why is this event so important. So first and foremost, we know that the first step of any new journey really takes a lot of commitment. It also is trying to understand what the first step should be, how to navigate all the resources that you have in place, and then also just trying to understand what does the support mechanism and the support community actually look like. So first, I wanted to start up with RiseUp. You may have heard of it. RiseUp with ServiceNow is our mission. If we say mission, it's a program, it's an opportunity to bring folks together and to be able to lead them through a specific journey. We know that the first step of any new transition, whether you're technical, not technical, whether you're a single mom, whether you've been in the IT industry for multiple years, that any transition takes a lot of effort, it takes guidance, and the one thing that you're looking for is understanding how to scale up, how to get yourself in there, and how to start becoming more credentialed, certified, and so on. So RiseUp's purpose is really to give people the opportunity to be able to do that more seamlessly through two areas and one specific area that is really hosting all of the resources, the educational and enablement tools, and that is our Now Learning Hub. So I wanted to pass the mic on to Chris Gletzer so he can give a little bit more around what Now Learning is and the opportunities it provides.
Thanks, Selena. Hi, everyone. Great to meet you. So yeah, as it shows on the slide here, Now Learning is the learning hub for all things ServiceNow. So if you go there, you'll find all sorts of courses, free courses, such as Welcome to ServiceNow to kind of get you started learning about the platform and our ecosystem. And then, some paid courses as well, a range of formats from on-demand to instructor-led to recorded instructor-led with different price points for some of those courses. It's also the place where you can go to get credentialed, so get enough training and experience under your belt. We have a whole host of mainline certifications, micro certifications for specific products, and accreditations. And then recently launched, we have our new offering, which are career journeys, which is taking a look at the roles in our ecosystem that are in demand now and in demand in the future, and providing a more holistic guidance around what it takes to be successful in a career in one of those roles. And so in Now Learning, you'll find more than just learning. You'll find connections back to community. How can you engage with community in the right way at the right time? What are some external resources or external courses you might take to help give you kind of a richer skill set beyond just the technical ServiceNow training? So if you haven't checked out the career journeys, I encourage you to do so, and looking forward to answering any questions in the Q&A.
Awesome.
Thanks, Selena.
Yeah, absolutely. We will get into the career journeys a bit more and navigate that when we jump into Now Learning.
Great.
I wanted to speak a little bit to the community. The community is an extension of our ecosystem and is actually a really important and vital part of our ecosystem. The ServiceNow experience is bringing folks together to be able to connect and learn from one another. I know maybe many of you are part of other communities, whether they're tech communities, whether they're sports or nutrition or parenting communities. But as we know, community is a very important element and enablement resource where you can connect with people that are like-minded, that have gone through the experience, that are sharing their overall experiences, resources, enablement tools. And our community is over 500,000 people. And within our 500,000 people, we have these amazing community experts. We have our rising stars and we have our MVPs. And these are folks that are top contributors. What that means is they are actively involved in our community, whether it's within our online platform, whether they are creating content, blog posts, podcasts. Some of them are running developer meetup events or creating additional resources for folks to learn in a variety of ways. So I get the privilege of being able to introduce one of our community experts. John Feist is actually um, one of our rising stars, and he has a wealth of knowledge. So I wanted to be able to speak to him and just really create a dialogue between both of us because John has just such an incredible background, and he can really speak to the why did he get involved, how has it been important for him, and really just be able to connect with you all a bit more on why ServiceNow. So I'm going to go ahead and pin him up here so y'all can see his wonderful face. But John, I would love to hear a bit more about you. And you are a ServiceNow system admin, and for a lot of folks, they might actually understand that. For others, they might not. And we do have a poll, and with that, we'll ask the poll here in a second after I get to speak to John. But one of the biggest things is whether you're technical or not technical, John had some really great resources and just overall advice around how to get involved. So, first, let me start with a really easy question, John. Um, Tell us where you're from, and very random question, but what did you want to be when you were in your 20s?
Okay, thanks, Selena. I'm located in our office in Princeton, New Jersey. I suspect most people have some general idea where that is. Um, when I was in my 20s, I was kind of bouncing back and forth between marketing and some form of tech. After I finished my MBA, I was working for what in those days was called a computer time sharing company. And I discovered that I had quite the knack for a lot of the tech stuff, and our flagship product was a relational database system. It was, you might think of as a precursor to Microsoft Access. And I realized that I could have a lot of fun with this thing. So I kind of went from there into back and forth on between the business side of stuff and the technical side of stuff.
Very cool. And how did you get introduced to ServiceNow? Was it something that you were like, where has this been all my life? Or you're like, I have no idea what this is?
It was interesting because I was working at Integra as a contingent, and the help desk ticketing system that we were using had passed end of life and was going out of support, so they needed to replace that. And so my then senior director came to me and said, "How would you like to run ServiceNow for us?" I said, "That sounds interesting. What's ServiceNow?" And the rest, as they say, is history. I was very fortunate that when I first came on board, that I did have access to some resources. If I'd had access then to RiseUp, it would have made my life a whole lot simpler. But between the community and one or two ServiceNow folks, I was able to get up a fairly steep learning curve and brought the system. We had an implementation partner, but we brought the system up online on schedule. We've been using it now for give or take 6 years. And we just keep expanding what all gets covered, used, et cetera, both in terms of functionalities and different parts of the company.
Very cool. And how has that impacted, your overall work experience? Going from having to learn this very quickly to now being considered an expert in this space.
Well, you know, I appreciate all the help that I got when I was just learning. So I make it a point as much as I can to start my workday going into the community and answering a few questions that people might have so that we can keep that knowledge flowing. Um, and, there's a lot of stuff that used to take me a really long time to get done, which now, just because I've been around this for a while, I'm able to get done that much faster. And, there's nobody um, within the community, et cetera, who will make the claim that they know everything about ServiceNow. The platform is just so expansive that nobody can possibly know that. And the community is just such a great place to find out, yeah, I'm not sure what this error message means or what's the right way to implement that. And you post the question or you go searching and you may already find the answer. And in most cases, the community is really responsive.
Awesome. And do you have any advice for someone that's, you know, thinking about switching technologies and just kind of on the fence, or and also someone that's not in technology? What advice would you give them?
Um, well, the the simple one is go for it, um, because there are so many different roles that you can play within the ServiceNow ecosystem, whether you're working for a customer, for a partner, or for ServiceNow directly. Some of them require heavy duty technical skills. Some require some level of tech skills. The really neat thing is that ServiceNow has put a huge investment into what they call low code, no code, so that more and more what you're able to do is build things in ServiceNow without ever actually writing one bit of code. And it's all done through drag and drop checkboxes, answering questions, etc. So, there's a huge range of opportunities out there. And, you know, don't sell, if you're coming in from something totally different, don't sell yourself short. If you've been out there working for a number of years, you probably have some really good experiences that can help you, expand the ServiceNow community. And what it is you'll do, you'll figure it out. And the most important thing to keep in mind, don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, um, you can have a personal developer instance, or within your organization, you can have a development instance where you can try the stuff. And the best way to learn it is to do it.
Yes. Well, that is a great way for us to move on to the next segment of this event. Thank you so much, John, for sharing that. I think those words of advice are definitely something that we can all hold on to, and really resonates with different areas of, expertise, backgrounds, skill sets. So thank you so much. And you'll have a chance to ask John questions during our Q&A at the end of this event. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump into the very first step that you can take coming into this experience with ServiceNow. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a couple of things. We're first going to create a Now Learning account. And then we're going to take you into the first course through a career journey so you can kind of see what that actually feels like, and the opportunity around that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen because me and technical Zoom experiences don't always lend themselves to be that friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And look at these wonderful faces. Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead. You're going to have a link that's going to be posted on the chat by my fellow team members. And if you go ahead and click on that link, it's going to send you directly to the Now Learning homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, because I already have an account, I'm going to go in through an incognito window and give you the experience of what it should look like as you come in. So with that, do y'all see my screen? Thumbs up. Am I sharing it? Awesome. Okay. So one thing I'm going to do really quick, because I can still pin there. Okay. Now, as we do this, you'll notice that Now Learning actually has some phenomenal resources. And as you navigate through this, you'll see different ways of experiencing credentials and so on. So what we're going to do really quickly is I'm going to ask everyone to jump into the sign up space. So if you go up here, right here, you're going to go to sign up. It's going to ask you to sign up for a ServiceNow ID. If you don't have one, it's really easy. It's quick. It's going to send you an email for confirmation. So I'm going to give everyone a minute to be able to just kind of put your information in there, let them know you're not a robot. And just by show of hands, how many of you have already done your ServiceNow ID or have created it just with like an emoji hand or a regular hand? It's fine too. Yeah? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so then everyone feel pretty good about things? Awesome. Really easy, right? We can repeat this stuff. It's very simple. All right, once you hit sign up, it's going to send you an email. It might take about 10 minutes, which is fine. I'm going to take you through the next step. If you already have your ServiceNow ID, fantastic. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and sign up with your ID. And then I'm going to show you what that actually looks like from my perspective, from already being a part of this. So I'm going to not share my screen and then jump into this space. Okay, so as you come into Now Learning and after you've registered, you're going to see this experience. It's going to directly provide those career journeys that Chris stated and that John highlighted. And what's really great about these career journeys is that it provides you a pathway. And these are 5 pathways that are actually highly, they are actually well sought after and really, really important in the ServiceNow ecosystem. So I'm going to jump into, I'm going to show you what these actually look like. So we have our system admin, our developer, our implementer, our business process analyst, and our technical project manager. I'm going to jump into our system and administrator. You'll see the journey, and I hope y'all are following along with me. What you'll do is you'll go through here and you'll see different areas that you can focus on. It's going to lead you directly where you need to go at all points. And so what I want y'all to see is that from this point, you also have this navigated space that you can see all of this content. It's going to give you high level, but then you can navigate this really cool experience here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the Welcome to ServiceNow space. And just by show of hands, how many of you are following along with me? Good? All right. Cool. You'll notice that the overall experience and course offers all of this information. And it's going to really speak to the platform, what ServiceNow platform does, the opportunities behind it, and so on. What I'm going to do, and I'll give you all a chance to be able to go and do that, you can actually go and start the course. Really easy. Mine already shows it because I've already been working towards it. And you'll notice here that it's going to provide a variety of elements for Welcome to ServiceNow course. And as you navigate that, you'll be able to see a quiz that will get you through everything. And then on this side, you're going to see modules, the modules for, or the lessons for each one of the experiences for the Welcome to ServiceNow course. Then you can actually open the instance. So we were talking about an instance earlier and how you can explore, and it's almost like a sandbox where you can go in and be able to build on it. So we highly recommend that you take advantage of that. Also, just some quick tips. If you take one of the quizzes, you can retake it. So don't get discouraged if for whatever reason you don't pass it. It isn't that difficult, but either way, I know sometimes I consume information differently and then extract that information differently. So don't get discouraged by that. with that said, would love to see if folks were able to navigate a little bit. Did y'all feel this sense of like, okay, I got that, I understand it, I know where I need to go? How's everyone feeling? Good? Jenny? All right. All right, so I'm gonna now open it up for a Q&A. We have a wealth of folks, a wealth of experience and team members from ServiceNow, including John, our community expert. So would love to dive into the Q&A that y'all have here and see what folks have to say. So questions, let me see. We don't have any questions. We had some already answered, which is awesome. Thank you, Dee, for doing that. Does anyone have any questions for our community expert, John? Anybody that's interested in learning a bit more about how to dive into ServiceNow? Show of hands really quickly. How many of you were able to sign up today? Just with your emoji or your regular human hand. Awesome. Very cool. Love it.
We actually had some questions, and the meeting chat was actually a lot of wealth of information. We had some questions around an availability of non-technical roles. I know we have our career journeys, and Chris, if I can get your help on here, we have some non-technical roles, but outside of the ones that are listed in career journey, are there like more information on Now Learning that's related to non-technical roles? And I just want to thank John really quick for highlighting that you don't have to be technical only to pursue a role within the ServiceNow ecosystem. Chris, would you be able to give, I love this, would you be able to give just a little example of what other non-technical roles that people can explore once they sign on to Now Learning?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first 5 career journeys we launched, there are 2 we could probably classify as more on the non-technical side. One is a business process analyst, which doesn't require any configuration or customization or coding efforts. And then there's also technical project manager, which really is kind of like a classic project manager, is just learning how to do that through the ServiceNow platform. So, you know, there's still, I guess, some technical training involved in each of those journeys, but compared to, say, sysadmin or developer, you know, a much lighter lift on the technical front. And then, you know, I guess this is kind of a safe harbor statement, but we do have some additional journeys planned for launch over the course of the next calendar year or so. And that will include additional non-technical roles. For example, some that we have in mind to develop are change adoption specialist, help desk and support agent. Those are the 2 that come to mind that are kind of squirreling, kind of non-technical space. Data analyst might be another one. So it's definitely top of mind for us that we want to expand beyond kind of the classic roles that we've traditionally supported.
Gotcha, I love it. Thank you so much. And we're getting a flood of questions on the Q&A now that kick-started. Selena, do you want to go over them one by one?
Yeah. We also have a raised hand. So Shandu, if you can add your question on here, or actually we can, that way we can make sure that we can get to it, and then also we'll take that question and we're going to transfer it to the event landing page, so in that way we can answer a lot of these questions that we may potentially miss. So all right, so George is welcome to ServiceNow course, the prereq. Chris, D.
I know the answer because I'm the nerd that goes into each one. So it is not a prerequisite for all of the career journeys, but it's a great place to start if you're not familiar with Welcome to ServiceNow. For some of the career journeys, it is a requirement. I want to say it's more for the non-technical roles and the technical career paths, but either way, I was new to ServiceNow. I took it and it helped me so much in just trying to understand what is it that I'm dealing with. And especially having that instance and being able to play with it and and just mess around with it just to understand what would it be like if I were to actually interact with a platform, and having that practice was more invaluable than actually just looking through the text and such.
Awesome. I know that a lot of folks are answering the questions on the chat, which thank you so much for that. And thanks, Rose, for highlighting that. I know we have one from Jason. A job opening I have seen recently specified requirements relating to programming languages. Is there a short list of supported languages for technical development, or are there modules that support a lot of different types? I'm not experienced in back-end side of ServiceNow, but I'm interested. So I know, John, you've been in the side of being able to understand things a bit more, but also from our Now Learning team and other teams that are supporting, what can we provide Jason with what
Well,
experience?
by and large, the only programming language that you need is JavaScript, because any of the coding that you can apply, that's the language. And there are front end and back end pieces, but that you learn about. You also have a number of resources available to learning JavaScript specifically as it relates to ServiceNow. I know there's there's a course in the developer track around that, and also one of probably the best known member of the community is a fellow named Chuck Tomasi, who was phenomenal. A couple of years ago, put together a whole series of videos learning to program JavaScript with ServiceNow. And from time to time, when I'm getting into an area I'm not familiar with, I go and see if Chuck has a module on that. So I think those are probably the best two ways to do it. And the reality is, if you understand object-oriented programming, the rest of it comes pretty straightforward. The challenge, as always, is you just have to learn the object model.
Awesome. Thank you, John, for providing that. I know we are past time, and thank you for everyone that was able to stay with us. I'm just going to share the QR code really quick so you can go ahead and head back to the event space and be able to gather additional information where possible. I know maybe a lot of you are like, we don't have time for this, but let me share this with you so then that way you can go ahead and continue connecting on our community, as well as answering questions. If you can answer or ask any additional questions that you may have, we will transfer the questions that were asked on chat and answer them on this designated page. And so if you have anything else, please let us know. We will share the recording on this page as well. And please look out for follow-up email. We would love to hear your feedback, as well as additional things that you would like to see to support your journey in this space. Thank you again, everyone, for attending and for providing your time. And if there's anything that you need from us, please connect with us on the community or on Now Learning. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, folks. Bye.